And good Thursday evening, everybody. I'm Casey Cloud here with St. Pendleton, welcoming everybody to this final show before spring break.
That's right, Casey. It's Thursday. It's March 3rd. We're almost halfway done with the semester, but some of us have one more day of classes. But what beautiful weather it is as we transition to spring break.
Yeah, getting ready for that. Everybody excited to go out of town or even stay here if they are. This will be a nice week of rest for everybody, taking a break and just enjoying. And there'll be nice conditions around here to do that.
Yeah, take today, for instance. It was beautiful this morning, sunny, and there was sunshine beating down on the Union today at lunch. We did have some clouds move in through the afternoon, though. You might see it a little hazy if you look out to the west for sunset tonight. A few clouds out there might make for a beautiful, picturesque sunset.
Yeah, absolutely. Should just be beautiful for that. And last night, Shane, you were taking some photos of the nice sunset there, getting ready for one of our meetings that we have here. Yes. And it was just beautiful, great weather around for that.
It was fantastic, but my allergies have been acting up this week because, well, I saw it in my picture. There's lots of smoke out to the west, too, because it's prescribed burn season out at Apalachicola.
Yeah, that's something that people need to be aware of, is that can have an impact for some, as that smoke really is a factor with some of those controlled burns, but it's good to do those so we don't have any wildfires that could occur that could get out of control. But right now, I think we're going to take it over to Jake, maybe the voice of, I don't know.
Thanks a lot, guys. Beautiful conditions out there today, but as we look at the local radar, storms are moving their way in. We actually do have a marginal risk for severe weather later on into the evening. Again, these storms beginning to creep their way into parts of Alabama. We've spawned a couple of severe warnings in parts of Mississippi through the last couple of hours or so. Expanding that out to the entire southeast, we see this frontal system moving its way into Tallahassee. It's going to be racing its way through the area. Later on tonight, and again, it's going to be a little bit of a stormy night. Keep the umbrellas out if you're going out for any late night study plans. Of course, we have those midterms still going on. One more day before the spring break rolls around. Tonight's forecast, 50 degrees. Again, 90% chance of rain. Should be coming about 11 p.m. tonight or so. Bring an umbrella. Wind's coming out of the south. As that passes through, though, it's going to be setting up for a gorgeous next few days. Thunderstorms again tonight. Partly sunny and cool tomorrow. It's setting up for a warming trend into the rest of the week. Temperatures even getting up into the 80s at points next week. So I'm going to send it back to the desk with Shane and Casey.
Thanks, Jake. We wanted to talk a little bit more about that weather because while it was beautiful today and we got a sunset out there to see, we've got rain clouds moving in overnight.
Yeah, something we'll keep a very close eye on is there is a chance of some stronger storms later into the evening and early overnight hours. Maybe about 1 a.m. or so, we could see a few strong storms, especially in some of our western counties. Hail and damaging winds look to be the primary threats.
Yes, and this line of storms has already had a history of being damaging. We've got several counties across the southeast issued under severe thunderstorm warnings at the present time. And if this line of storms retains its strength when it gets to our region, it will definitely be something to take seriously. Once again, hail and wind appear to be the main threat with these storms.
Yeah, the tornado risk looks to stay out further to the north and west, and that's pretty low as well. But we'll watch those storms as they track from southern Mississippi and closer toward our region. But right now, Shane, you're going to take it closer to home for a look at things.
Yes, that's right. We're going to start with the current conditions. It's 68 degrees outside right now, and our icon tells us it's mostly cloudy out. And one number I want to draw attention to is the humidity, climbing up to 49%. It's been very dry recently with all that high pressure and sunny skies, but the humidity is climbing in anticipation of that moisture moving into our region with the front that's going to be bringing us those storms. But as we look to our neighbors, we see that everybody's in the upper 60s or lower 70s, from 66 in Quincy to 72 to our west in Wilma. These are beautiful temperatures, and we're going to hover around these temperatures until we cool off tonight. How much? Stay tuned to find out. But as for our satellite and radar, we've got to look at the whole southeast to get a feel for the picture because it's just cloudy in Tallahassee right now, no rain yet. It's out in Alabama right now, making its way past Montgomery and approaching the Dothan region. These are some of the regions that have severe weather warnings issued. We'll see more of that later in the show. But this system is going to be sliding on through our region overnight tonight, and that's what's going to be bringing us that headache. Our Futurecast map really paints the picture here. There is a threat of thunderstorms overnight tonight around midnight, and it won't be a lengthy threat, but it could shake up your plans if you're planning to go out this evening. And then this high pressure will dominate our weather into Friday. So if you head out for your last few classes tomorrow, we can promise you beautiful conditions or fantastic traveling weather too. Into Saturday, the high pressure, the big bubble of no trouble, parks itself over the southeast. So traveling conditions will be fantastic. I myself will be driving home on Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be a sunny drive. And if you are already done with class and you're planning to get a head start and hit up the beach tomorrow, we can tell you there's going to be winds out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour, 2 to 4 feet surf, so it's going to be a smidge choppy out there and a little breezy, so it might be beautiful kite weather if it's a little too chilly for the water right now. Once again tonight, we're only going to get down to 50 degrees in Tallahassee because of all the cloud cover associated with the showers moving through our region. 90% chance of rain once again. Tomorrow, climbing to 67 degrees. So from a somewhat chilly start, it's going to be a beautiful afternoon. But now we've got to break down what you've got to wear. Tomorrow, the shades and sun rays are going to be necessary out there. Beautiful sun. You're going to want the sunglasses. And as we look into the week ahead, we can see that that's going to be the case all through next week. If you're staying in town for spring break, it's going to be a gorgeous one with temperatures in the mid to even upper 70s, maybe even breaking 80 degrees next Wednesday, with sunshine throughout, a slight chance of rain next Thursday, with lows remaining in the 50s and 60s. Now to widen our gaze to the whole southeast, here's Margaret.
As we zoom it out to the southeast here, just a moment, as we have a little bit of technical difficulties getting onto the southeast. As we zoom out to the southeast, we're seeing cloudy skies up to our north with cooler temperatures, 40 degrees in Atlanta, 45 in Montgomery. And that's that collection of showers and thunderstorms that are going to be making their way here this evening that are keeping those temperatures down. You can see it's raining in Atlanta and Montgomery. And so those showers are going to be making their way here this evening, but they're going to clear out quite quickly, as we will see as we get into the rest of the futurecast. 24-hour temperature change over the last day. It's cooled off a lot in regions to our north, these deep shades of blue that are dominating the western parts of South Carolina, North Georgia, northern Alabama. It's cooled off a lot there. Here in Tallahassee, we've got about the same conditions that we had yesterday, with no real temperature change between yesterday and today. The wind speeds, 13 miles an hour here in Tallahassee, so that can make it feel a little bit cooler than it is. And we've really got strong wind speeds across the entire southeast, getting up to 17 miles an hour in Savannah. Lowest areas are places including Tupelo at 6 miles an hour, and Key West down on the water, only 5 mile an hour winds, calm waters down there with the low winds. Current radar, these are those storms that we've been speaking of, some of which are severe, so do be aware of that as you're making plans for the evening. There are no airport delays to speak of despite those storms, though, so if you're heading out this evening for your spring break travel plans, it's going to be a great evening to travel. And these airport delays probably correlated with roads as well, going to be mostly clear. So great time to be getting out that futurecast radar. These are those storms, and watch carefully because they're going to be clearing out real fast. By 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, they are gone, and so they won't be plaguing any travel plans that anyone may have for this evening, tomorrow, and into the weekend. It's going to be great travel weather as you're making your way out of Tallahassee for any spring break plans that you may have. I know some friends are going to Disney. Tonight here in Tallahassee, 48 degrees, cooler temperatures around the entire southeast, and tomorrow it's going to be a gorgeous day, getting up to 69 degrees here in Tallahassee. But now we're going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Margaret. Now let's go ahead and talk about a little bit of local weather history, as there has been quite a few severe weather events across our area on this day. Back in 1991, there was a severe thunderstorm complex that moved onshore near Apalachicola. It produced straight-line wind gusts over 70 miles an hour in much of that area. It's 2 miles north of Perry. There was also an 81-mile-an-hour wind gust reported. They're in Taylor County, so some significant winds there back in 1991. Moving to 2001 now, a line of storms formed ahead of a cool front that moved through the region, and there was even a wind gust reported up to 66 miles an hour. Pretty significant to see move through South Georgia, North Florida. And just a few years ago, this is actually the most noteworthy, 2012, right before the senior class got here in the early part of the year, March 3rd. there was an EF2 tornado in Lowndes County, and this transitioned over to an EF3 as it moved into Lanier County and caused some significant damage not too far from Lakeland, Georgia, actually. Pretty serious conditions there. It turned into an EF3 with winds of 140 miles an hour maximum, 390 yards wide, and 4-mile long path. So significant to see in this area. Really hadn't seen an EF3 anywhere close by here since then. Of course, we had a couple out toward the Panhandle, Pensacola region. Last week we had one there in the Pensacola metro area and in Century, Florida, just a couple weeks ago. Very significant. Don't expect that around here too often. Tonight we're expecting, again, a few strong storms to develop. Not expecting anything in the realm of strong tornadoes, though. Again, we'll keep an eye on that. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Jake will be breaking down the ACC basketball tournament. Should be exciting with that, talking about teams. Hopefully FSU can make a run. Maybe, what does he think? Will they make a run to the ACC championship? We'll find out here in just a few minutes. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it over to Ayesha for a local forecast.
Well, what do I think, Casey? I think they're going to make it because go Noles, basically. Current conditions around campus, 68 degrees. Pretty nice. Mostly cloudy, though. We have a couple clouds in our area, but it was pretty clear for the most part when I started my day. Winds coming from the south at 13 miles per hour. Satellite and radar, nothing, folks. There's nothing happening right now, but we will get some showers later on Thursday night around 11 p.m. We're going to see those showers come in. It's going to be short and brief, but not too much to worry about. Not severe anyway. 72 degrees in Bainbridge and 66 in Quincy, but nice in Tallahassee overall near the Big Bend area. Current winds still coming from the south, pretty warm air from the Gulf, 13 miles per hour, which is not too bad. Thomasville at 12, so not too bad for winds. And it's not as breezy as you think it would be with that cold front coming through. But it passed us, and we're just going to see some showers. So I'm going to put this into gear, and you're going to see that moisture over in Tallahassee come in on Thursday night. But on Friday, a high-pressure system will be in our area. What does that mean? It just means clear skies and pretty much hot air for the afternoon. So it's going to be pretty hot around our area on Friday. If you're leaving and traveling, it's going to be clear conditions, so it's the best time to leave is on Friday, folks. If you're leaving tonight, it's not a good look for you. Just try to, plan out your night. If you do want to leave tonight, make sure you leave after around 2 a.m., late at night, so you don't get into those showers. High pressure system still there on Saturday, so we're still going to see some nice weather overall for our weekend. This evening's forecast, 90% chance of rain tonight, folks, around 11 o'clock. 50 degrees is our low for Tallahassee, so 53 in St. Mark's. Obviously, you can see it's pretty warmer on the coast due to that radiational cooling, so we're going to have a nice night after this. Just, the rain is going to put a damper down on us. Friday forecast, though, 67 degrees in Tallahassee, partly cloudy, so you won't see those high temperatures we saw today when we hit 75. St. Mark's at 66 as well. So coming from the north-northwest, you're going to see that low pressure system come in, change our winds a little bit. It's going to go from the north-northwest from the south. So 52 starting off at 8 a.m. If you have a morning class like I do, not a good start. 52 is not that great, but 60 will warm up and we'll go to 64. So that's a nice warm up. Won't be too hot as we saw today. For our next 5 days, you can see we're going to start 67 on Friday, partly cloudy, and we're going to clear out those clouds because that high pressure system is going to come to play, and then we're going to have 76 on Monday, and we might even see 80s next week. But we're going to take it back to the desk with Jake and talk about some basketball. And I'm going to take it back to Tyler with some nationals.
We're going to broaden out the look of the United States, our great 50 states. Right here we have some cold air, going to leave out of the way for a second, in the eastern portion of the United States. Going down towards Atlanta, it's 40 degrees there in Atlanta. You can see where the trop is, and it's digging and amplified pretty darn close to our region. And because of that, we do have an area of strong thunderstorms that will be impacting our area as we get later on tonight. There's a little bit of the cool wedge right here across the deep south, including parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. That is because of winds coming off of both a cold front and the cooling effect of the Appalachian Mountains. The combined forces of those means cold air for them, and ahead of the front, it's warmer across much of the rest of the east of the United States. It's also a little bit warmer in the west. We have a little bit of snow here, a little bit of a rarity for March across the upper portions of the south, including Lexington, Kentucky, over towards Charleston, West Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia. Taking a closer look, we have a little bit of mix as well, and a strong area of rain, very solid, from the upstate of South Carolina down towards the I-20 corridor and I-16 corridor of Georgia. Going down towards the southeast, we have a little bit of a stationary front, and possibly a subtropical jet, bringing very high velocity moving clouds. Here's a warning and advisory map. We have some high surf and storm warnings off the East Coast. You see those winter storm warnings right here near the Roanoke, Virginia area. We also have red flag warnings in portions of Kansas, and it's going to be very rainy due to a Pineapple Express over towards the western portion of the United States. Temperatures will cool off during the next 48 hours. Airport delays across the country are very not that big of a deal as far as most airports on this map goes. Very good travel conditions. The one caveat is not on the map. San Francisco has a ground stop due to fog. Tonight, lows in the 30s and 20s north, 40s south. That's a little bit cool for this time of year. High temperatures, 88. That's a record high, or very close to it in Phoenix. 34 in Detroit, and about 70 in Fort Myers. But now we're going to send it over toward Jake with the local Solo desk.
Thanks a lot, Tyler. And again, with this being the last show before spring break, I wanted to take a little Friday tradition, the sports weather segment, and bring it over here for you guys. So let's start off talking about Florida State baseball. A pretty thrilling start to the season, 6-2. Just won a 14-inning game against Villanova yesterday. 11-10 was the final score, and a walk-off again in the bottom of the 14th. They're going to be taking on St. John's once again at home at Dick Howser Stadium this weekend. Temperatures are going to be just fantastic. 67 degrees tomorrow. We're looking at a high of a little bit cooler. And then Saturday and Sunday is really when it's just a perfect day to go out and watch a baseball game, if you're still in town, of course. Now, shifting the focus over to basketball. It's ACC tournament time already for the women. Men are going to be starting up soon. Let's start off with the women's team, who's currently ranked 14th in the country, a record of 23-6. They got to buy into the quarterfinals. They were one of the top 4 seeds in the ACC. Going to be taking on the Miami Hurricanes tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina, and they're looking to be in a pretty good position if they make a decent run, if they can get past the Canes here, to get a 3 or a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament and perhaps host the first 2 rounds here in Tallahassee, much like they did last year. I was able to get out to a game last year, the first round against Alabama State. It was a lot of fun. I really hope they can bring it back here this year. Now, the men's team has obviously been struggling as of late. They got a big win against Notre Dame, though, last weekend. Beat them by about 22 points. They are 17-12 right now, 7-10 in ACC play. Unfortunately, it's looking like they might have to play on day 1. They're going to need a win over Syracuse on Saturday, as well as a Georgia Tech loss to Pittsburgh, to be able to jump into 10th place in the ACC. Again, Louisville is postseason eligible, to be able to get in there and sneak out that first round bye, be able to get a slightly easier road to making a potential NCAA tournament run. So let's hope for the best there. That's all I have for sports. Let's take it over to Ayesha back at the wall.
Thanks, Jake. A current look at Florida right now, 79 in Orlando. Have fun, Kate and Zach, because Disney World looks pretty nice right now. Fort Myers at 73, and Tallahassee with some cloudy conditions at 68. So you can see the difference that front came through, and we have some cooler air than parts of Orlando and Miami. Satellite and radar, another low pressure system developing in the parts of Alabama and Mississippi. So that front is going to come through again, cold front, and we're going to see some showers tonight around 11 p.m. For counties like Duval and Jacksonville, they're going to have some temperature changes once that comes through. They're going to see some rain around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., but we're going to get that rain around 11 a.m. So our 24-hour temperature change hasn't been much, but later on we're going to see cooler temps and cooler air come through. Tampa and Orlando, not much degrees temperature change as well with that cloud cover. Current dew point around Tallahassee, 48. Pretty dry, not too bad, but it's a little bit dry compared to the rest of Florida. Tampa at 54 and Fort Myers at 59. So it's pretty saturated down there for the most part. A little bit of moisture down there. Current winds coming from the south for Tallahassee, but it looks like all the winds are all over the place, folks. Tampa at 8 miles per hour and Orlando at 12, and it's not much of a wind chill at all. It's just light winds just coming from pretty much all around because that front came through. Kind of messed up the winds a little bit. Futurecast temps, how this weekend is going to play out. So we're going to start at 62 degrees. Orlando's going to start at 69. But we're going to die down with that cooler air. You can see that blue coming in, 50 around 7 a.m. on Friday. So like I said, 52 at 8 a.m. Make sure, you bring that jacket if you're going to get cold. But later on in the afternoon, 61 degrees in Tallahassee, 74 in Tampa, and it's going to warm up for Miami. And it looks like Fort Myers, too, 79 for them. So they're going to see some nice temperatures down there. Hopefully, I can get down to South Florida because it's sleeting in Atlanta, so maybe I'll take a trip down south. Later on 7 a.m., 39 in Tallahassee. That's a pretty big jump because of that cold air coming from that cold front. So you're going to see those temperatures die down, definitely. Later on, going back up in the afternoon at 7 p.m., you're going to see 61 in Tallahassee, 67 in Tampa. Still pretty nice conditions for them. That rain is just going to come through, bring some showers and cloud cover. It's not going to change much for them. Tonight's forecast, 48 in Tallahassee, all the way down in Key West, 71. So just pretty much cool conditions for the northeastern part of Florida, but southern parts, you're still keeping it warm down there. Friday's forecast, 69 in Tallahassee, 81 in Fort Myers. And Saturday, weekend's looking great all around. You don't have to worry about anything because that high pressure system will come into play. But I'm going to send it back to the desk with Shane.
Thanks, Ayesha. What we've got up next to talk about is being safe when severe weather threatens your area, because we really are entering that time of year. It's March. It is now severe weather season across the southeast. And the best time to prepare for a storm is well in advance of when that storm actually threatens your region. And with the small chance of severe weather in our area tonight, we thought this would be a great time to revisit some of those key points when it comes to safety. The main point to make is have a plan, have a system to notify you when severe weather threatens your area, because you can't always count on FSU alert. Say if you're home over spring break and there's an outbreak in your region, you won't have text messages for your area. But what you can have is a weather app with push notifications. That's very important, and it's one of the best features that you can have with that app. It will notify you when there is a tornado warning or such threats in your area. And you can also have this on overnight. That's another very important aspect. Take tonight's weather, for instance. This looks like it's going to be rolling through our region close to midnight. And while all us college students seem to be night owls, the ordinary people are asleep at midnight. So if a warning was issued for our area, they might sleep through it, and that can be very hazardous. But if you set the volume on your phone to high when you go to sleep, this will set off an alarm, just like an alarm that would wake you up in the morning. And you can be prepared then in advance of the storm reaching your area. We want everyone to take storms seriously, and while we're not forecasting a very significant event in our area overnight, as we said, the most important time to prepare for a storm is before it happens. And with us entering severe weather season, we want everyone to take all necessary precautions so that we all get through the severe weather season safely. And now for our last local forecast, here's Casey.
Thanks, Zane. Last local here before spring break. You do see these temperatures pretty nice around the region. A big contrast, actually. 38 this morning at the Tallahassee International Airport, up to 74, below average low, above average high. That just kind of tells the story, and that there's been a lot of sunshine to warm things up around our region today. Current conditions now, temps starting to fall just a little bit. 68 here in Tallahassee, 66 Panama City, 69 Pensacola, but cooler air, at least to an extent, is trying to get a little bit closer. You're going to have trouble doing it too much, though. Only 45 in Montgomery, 45 in Macon as well. And actually, associated with some of that cooler air further to the north, we've seen some reports of some sleet even up toward areas like Atlanta and Birmingham today. That's not going to make it anywhere close to our area, though. Nothing to worry about with that. Satellite and radar, we do see some shower and thunderstorm activity in southeast Alabama. Some of these storms are even starting to get some thunderstorm warnings on them now. And we're going to watch them as they do get further to the southeast, as we could have a few strong storms, especially in our western areas. We're talking about areas like Liberty County over to Franklin. Maybe as far east as Leon, but I'm not too concerned here. But there is a marginal risk, so just be weather aware tonight, as we could have a thunderstorm warning pop up 10, 11 o'clock. So just keep it in mind. Don't want to go outside if there's any damaging winds or large hail around. We'll give you the latest if there are warnings issued on live stream, of course, and on our social media accounts as well. Now, winds 13 in Tallahassee, 18 in Panama City, 14 in Pensacola. You see this wind direction. This tells a story. Southerly winds bringing in higher dew point values here over the next little bit, and we'll watch to see how that does above, as we could see a strong storm threat develop because of that. Dew points right now in the lower 40s, but if these start to get in the upper 50s, lower 60s, then we'll watch out maybe for an isolated strong storm or two to become a distinct possibility. Looking ahead for later this evening, you see these shower and thunderstorms moving around here, Tallahassee, later this evening, but by tomorrow noon, it should just be beautiful around. High pressure starting to take control. Wherever you're headed for spring break, it should just be beautiful. Staying here will be nice. Going up to Huntsville, great. On that Friday, over to Stark, where I'm going on the first coast. Tampa area, Orlando, maybe South Florida, Miami, Weston, places like that. Should just be beautiful. Great conditions around. Seaside forecast, 6 on that UV index, a high value for that. So if you're going out to the beach, just have that sunscreen on hand. Your boating forecast, light to moderate top around. For tonight, 50 degrees in Tallahassee. Rainy night around. Bring that umbrella. So just have that in mind. We'll keep you an eye on everything if there's any strong storms. 67 tomorrow. And now as we get into the extended outlook, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. We do see that the weather situation is looking pretty nice. 67 tomorrow. And what we see in just beautiful conditions around here, folks. Great weather overall. Really tells the story around our viewing circle. A lot of sun.
Absolutely. I am a huge fan of that forecast because on the eve of spring break, that is exactly what you want to see on the 7-day, 7 suns.
Yeah, just great. Go out and enjoy it. Around here, it should be nice. And just keep an eye on the weather wherever you are, because it could be a little bit different. But overall, Florida looks nicer for the next couple of days. Just got to get through those showers later on tonight. But again, getting back to that 7-day, just gorgeous conditions. 72 Saturday, 74 Sunday, 76 Monday. That warming trend really continuing.
Absolutely. We want to wish everyone the safest of spring breaks, and we hope that everyone has a fantastic time and enjoys the sunshine out across the Sunshine State or wherever you may be traveling to. But as always, you can follow us on all platforms of social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, you can always watch us on livestream.com/FSU Weather.
Yeah, great source there. You can maybe watch some old episodes over break, catch up on things you might have missed. You never know. Watch old severe weather coverage too. That's on YouTube, actually, what we had last week. But for now, for this final show before spring break, I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton. We won't be live next week, but we will be back the Monday after spring break, so we'll see you then. Stay safe.